I'm going to be removing the ECU from my MT-03 so I can send it off to Wheel DynoWorks so they can reflash it and make the bike run better with the full system exhaust that it has in it. And also before I install the TST Industries velocity stacks and air injection system block off plate. Start by removing the rear seats. I don't have a key lock on my bike, so I just installed this little chain to pull the cable. The previous owner, I don't know what he did, but he lost or removed the key lock for whatever reason. And then you have to remove this plate here so we can get to the bolts for the main seats. These are not the original fasteners either, but the bike, some fasteners were missing here and there. There we go. Now we have access to these bolts here for the main seat, and they are 10mm bolts. And the seat comes right off. Yes, the ECU is right under here, and this is the main connector you have to focus on to be able to take the ECU out. Before we unplug this connector, we want to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. Whenever you're disconnecting any connector on the bike, it's usually best to disconnect the negative terminal so you don't have any current running to any of the connectors or sensors or anything you're working on. So let's do that first here. I think it's an 8mm. Whatever you do, don't touch the negative to the positive terminal if this is uncovered, especially with a metal tool. Okay, we've unplugged the negative terminal. Now to make sure this doesn't accidentally touch back down, put a rag or rubber piece or something that'll isolate it. Just make sure it doesn't touch. Now we should be able to remove the ECU by pressing down on this center tab here. It's kind of hard to see. And then you slide this connector back. There we go. Slide that lever back and the connector pops right off. And we've got access to the ECU. Should slide right out of this sleeve here. There we go. And there you are. The brains of the operation. Send this over to Wheel DynoWorks for a reflash, and then I'll do all my acceleration tests once I got the reflash, the velocity stacks, and the air injection system block off plates installed. And I should see something like a 10% improvement in power, which should translate to better acceleration times. That's all there is to it. I'm going to leave this disconnected until I have the ECU back and reflashed. If you like this type of useful MT-03 content, consider subscribing and hit that like button so you can be notified of future content.